In August 2025, the wrestling world was absolutely stunned by a moment nobody saw coming. Arissa LeBrock, the daughter of Hollywood action icon Steven Seagal, finally made her major televised debut. And what happened next, nobody was prepared for. She wasn't just another celebrity's kid trying to play wrestler. She was polished, she was technical, she was dangerous. But the biggest shock of all wasn't what she did. It was where she did it. For years, the talk was all about WWE. But to understand what really happened, you have to know the secret story of what almost ended her dream before it ever began. This isn't just a story about a great debut. It's the untold story of a devastating injury, a period of darkness and doubt that made her disappear completely, and the one phone call from a wrestling legend that changed everything. This is how a shattered dream led to a game-changing arrival that put the entire wrestling world on notice. To really get the weight of Arissa LeBrock's journey, you have to understand the world she was born into. Her father is Steven Seagal, the stoic Aikido master whose name is synonymous with bone-crunching action movies. Her mother is Kelly LeBrock, the iconic supermodel and actress. Being born from that union is like winning the genetic lottery. You get charisma, star power, and a name that opens every door. But that name also casts a colossal shadow. For years, Arissa built a successful career as a model, carving out her own identity. But that warrior spirit was always there. She didn't just inherit her father's name, she inherited his passion for martial arts, becoming a dedicated and skilled practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That unique blend of marketability and legit toughness put her on a collision course with professional wrestling. In December 2019, the call every aspiring wrestler dreams of finally came. WWE invited Arissa for a multi-day tryout at their performance center in Orlando, Florida. This was the golden ticket. The PC is a state-of-the-art dream factory, but it's also a meat grinder, designed to push athletes past their breaking point. Her name alone made her the talk of the tryout. The story was just too perfect. But in a business that prides itself on paying your dues, a famous last name can feel like a target on your back. She walked into that high-pressure environment ready to prove she belonged. And then, in an instant, disaster struck. While the specific details have been kept private, the result was catastrophic. During that grueling tryout, Arissa suffered a severe career-threatening injury. This wasn't a minor sprain. This was a setback so significant that it brought her wrestling ambitions to a screeching, heartbreaking halt. Imagine chasing this impossible dream, pushing yourself through the toughest test of your life, only for your own body to give out. The dream was snatched away. Following the injury, Arissa LeBrock vanished from the wrestling radar. The hype that had surrounded her potential WWE debut faded into a sad story of what might have been. Since she wasn't officially signed, WWE made no public statement. As far as the public was concerned, a can't-miss prospect simply disappeared, fueling quiet rumors that she had failed or didn't have the right attitude. The reality was far more tragic. The physical toll was immense, but the psychological damage was arguably even worse. What followed was silence and suffocating doubt. In a moment of incredible honesty, Arissa later revealed just how deep her struggle went, admitting, "I realized that I had become comfortable in the darkest, worst place in my life." Think about that for a second. It's one thing to find yourself in a dark place after a setback. It's another thing entirely to become comfortable there. It suggests a kind of surrender, an acceptance that the dream is dead. For all intents and purposes, the story of Arissa LeBrock, professional wrestler, was destined to become a forgotten what if. This is the kind of comeback story that truly defines a superstar. It's the reality behind the performance that makes wrestling so compelling. If you appreciate these deep dives into the untold stories of the ring, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We bring you the narratives that go beyond the headlines, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. But in wrestling, the best stories are often about comebacks. While Arissa was in that dark place, a phone call changed everything. It came from a man who knows a thing or two about legacy, pressure, and reinvention, Dustin Rhodes. As the son of the iconic American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Dustin understood the immense weight that comes with a famous last name. He saw the fire in Arissa and offered her a lifeline, an invitation to train at his Rhodes Wrestling Academy in Texas. This was the call she needed. In her words, "When I got the call from Dustin, I realized that I had become comfortable. It was time for me to give every ounce of passion within me to professional wrestling." She packed her bags and threw herself into the craft. The Rhodes Wrestling Academy is a world away from the polished WWE Performance Center. It's an old-school dojo built on hard work and respect. Here, she wasn't Steven Seagal's daughter, she was just a rookie, learning from a master. Under Dustin's guidance, she began to rebuild herself, not just physically, but mentally. She worked with trainers to methodically get, as Dustin put it, all her ducks in a row. Dustin taught her how to translate her legitimate BJJ skills into the unique language of pro wrestling. He was blown away by her talent and work ethic, quickly becoming her biggest cheerleader. In an interview, he praised her journey, saying, "She's doing a great job, but this is only the beginning for her." He then made a bold prediction that put the wrestling world on notice. Pretty soon, the whole world's going to be talking about Arissa LeBrock. This wasn't about celebrity anymore, this was about paying dues. Far from the bright lights, she was learning fundamentals, taking bumps, and understanding the complex psychology of telling a story in the ring. The injury had actually forced her to become a smarter performer. She had to be more technical, more precise, fusing her BJJ grappling with a methodical power. After months of this grueling work, her moment of truth finally arrived. In March 2023, Arissa LeBrock competed in the Rhodes Wrestling Academy's Student Showcase, her official public in-ring debut. When her arm was raised in victory, she had finally stepped out of her parents' shadows and into the squared circle on her own terms. She had faced the abyss and walked out a warrior. And that brings us back to that electrifying night in August 2025. When Arissa LeBrock stepped into a major promotions ring, it wasn't a WWE ring. It was a TNA ring. She carried the weight of her entire journey with her, the legacy of her name, the pain of her injury, the darkness of her doubt, and the strength she forged in that Texas gym. The reason her debut was so shocking is because it was the culmination of this very real, very difficult journey. The assumption had always been that her destination was WWE. Her appearance in the Impact Zone was a swerve nobody saw coming, proving the rumors that her career was over were nothing more than myths. Her performance was a definitive rebuke to those false narratives, showcasing a resilience that silenced all doubt. Fans witnessed a brutally efficient style, a seamless and violent fusion of her BJJ grappling with pro wrestling power. This wasn't a model-playing wrestler. This was a martial artist who had chosen the ring as her dojo. Her victory was more than just a win. It symbolized her stepping out from the shadow of her famous parents and into her own spotlight, on her own terms. She refused to live in the shadow of two icons and instead forged her own identity through pure grit and perseverance. Arissa LeBrock didn't just have a great debut, she performed a miracle. She turned a career-ending injury into the foundation of a new, smarter, and more dangerous wrestling style. She took the crushing weight of her legacy and transformed it into a weapon. The journey from a devastating setback at a WWE tryout to a shocking debut in TNA separates wild rumors from an even wilder reality. She has proven that legacy isn't just what you're given, it's what you build with your own two hands. The entire world of women's wrestling has been put on notice. A new force has arrived, one with a story of resilience that gives her an authenticity you simply can't manufacture. She has the look, the lineage, the legitimate combat background, and the proven heart of a fighter who stared down failure and refused to quit. The question is no longer if she belongs, but how far she will go. What did you think of Arissa LeBrock's shocking arrival in TNA? And who should be the first to test their might against this formidable new superstar? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And for more stories that take you behind the curtain of professional wrestling, make sure you're subscribed. You won't want to miss what comes next.